Hi students, this is A. Srinivas, lecturer in physics, Vignan Junior College. Welcome to Vignan digital classes. Students, we are discussing waves chapter. We completed 2 videos belongs to waves. In that 2 videos we discussed the definition of waves and the concept of progressive waves and the different forms of progressive wave equation and the velocity of transverse waves in string were discussed in previous 2 videos. In this video, we are going to discuss about stationary waves, the principle of superposition, formation of stationary waves in stretched string. So let us move on to the contents of today's discussion. Here the first one is the principle of superposition. In a medium, there are 2 or more waves meet at a point. Resultant displacement at that point is given by principle of superposition. In this image, you are observing the different waves meeting at a point. When number of waves traveling in a medium reaches a point simultaneously, then the particle has resultant displacement. The resultant displacement will be find out by using principle of superposition. Then standing waves are stationary waves. If suppose these 2 waves which are traveling in opposite direction meet at a point, then there is a possibility of forming a standard pattern, stationary wave pattern. Then that will be discussed in the stationary waves, which is an extension to principle of superposition. Then particularly in this video, we discuss about the stationary waves in strings. Of course, in the coming sessions, we discuss about stationary waves in open and closed pipes. Especially in this video, we confine to the stationary waves in strings. We know that the string has disturbed, it produces a transverse wave. The transverse wave within the string may produce the stationary waves. We will discuss the stationary wave patterns in the strings. Next, that leads to an expression for frequency. With the help of that fundamental frequency, we formulate laws of strings, and then one application of frequency of stationary waves in strings is sonometer. We will discuss the sonometer, and numericals belongs to this concept. These are the contents that we have to discuss. Let us move on to the first concept for the today's discussion, that is the principle of superposition of waves. So we are observing the image in which the waves are traveling. Here, when you look into this animation more clearly, we are observing 2 waves. One wave is traveling in upward direction. See, red color wave is traveling in upward direction. You are observing red color wave is traveling in upward direction. At the same time, blue color wave is traveling in downward direction. Here, in this animation, we are observing 2 waves. The red color wave is traveling in upward direction. Red color wave traveling in upward direction, whereas blue color wave is traveling in downward direction. Blue color wave is traveling in downward direction. These 2 meet at the points of the medium, and in black color we are observing the resultant wave. So this principle to give the displacement of resultant wave is principle of superposition. According to principle of superposition, the resultant displacement, here we are observing a resultant displacement. This is the resultant displacement. Resultant displacement of number of waves in a medium at a particular point is the vector sum of individual displacement produced by each of the waves at that point. Since displacement of vibrating particle is a vector quantity, when number of waves or number of disturbances, wave is a propagation of disturbance. If number of disturbances reaches a point, then that the point undergoes a resultant displacement, which is the vector sum of displacements caused by different waves. Here, suppose y1 is the displacement of first wave, y1 is the displacement caused by first wave, and y2 is the displacement caused by second wave. Here we are observing in this diagram, we are observing this y1 disturbance is caused by first wave and this y2 disturbance caused by second wave. Then resultant displacement may be vector sum of the two waves. This is resultant displacement. The resultant displacement y is the vector sum of two displacements. This is the principle of superposition. The resultant displacement value depends upon the phase difference of the displacements of the two individual waves. So let us move on to the expression form of the principle of superposition. Suppose we have one wave. This is the first wave. Let us consider the first wave having displacement y1. Here this is the first wave. I am highlighting the displacement of first wave. Here this is the diagram in which two waves are meeting, and first wave of displacement y1 and second wave of displacement y2 are meeting in the medium and producing resultant displacement of vibrating particle. So displacement of first wave, let it be traveling in positive x direction. First wave, let it be traveling in positive x direction. Its displacement is given by y1 in function of x and t is a sin kx minus omega t. Another wave is also reaches the same point of matter, and thus displacement of the second wave is y2. Here I am highlighting the second wave equation. Second wave reaches the same point of the medium which having the displacement value at the same time t is a sin kx minus omega t plus phi. It shows that first and second wave having a phase difference of pi. Pi is the phase difference between the displacement equations of the two waves. When these two meet at a point, then resultant displacement is the vector sum of the two displacements. Then let y of xt be the resultant displacement according to principle of superposition. The resultant displacement is y1 plus y2. So a sin kx minus omega t plus a sin kx minus omega t plus pi. First displacement plus second displacement. So it is in form of sin of sin A plus sin B. A common, sin A plus sin B. So sin A plus sin B, 2 sin of A plus B by 2 into cos of A minus B by 2. So this is the very repeated and known expression trigonometry. Sin A plus sin B is 2 sin A plus B by 2 into cos A minus B by 2. So that A plus B by 2 means kx minus omega t plus kx minus omega t plus pi by 2. So it becomes kx sin of kx minus omega t plus pi by 2. And cos of A minus B by 2, in this subtraction we get cos of pi by 2. So 2a cos pi by 2 into sin of kx minus omega t plus pi by 2. This is the function which gives the resultant displacement. So this is the from the principle of superposition we get the resultant displacement of the wave as shown in here. Like that when we come across with so many cases in which two waves are meeting at a point, by taking vector sum of these two in proper formula we get the resultant displacement as shown here. This is the expression way of finding the resultant displacement by using the concept of principle of superposition. So let us move on to one application. The principle of superposition, depending upon the phase difference, if the phase difference is integral multiple of 2 pi, at that positions it may give constructive interference. When phase difference is in out of phase, then it gives destructive interference. So when y1, y2 displacements of the two waves are added to get a net displacement according to principle of superposition. At some positions the displacements are added, the amplitude becomes maximum. So if two waves are superimposed each other in the same phase, this is the important line we must understand here. If they are superimposed in same phase, then our phase difference of integral multiple of 2 pi, both are same. Same phase or phase difference of integral multiple of 2 pi means equivalent to same phase. Then amplitude of resultant wave is equal to sum of amplitudes. Then we get A is equal to A1 plus A2. Then this is known as the constructive interference. If they superimpose each other in opposite phase, so this is the highlighted point. If they are superimposed on each other in opposite phase, That means at a phase of pi radians. Then resultant displacement, the resultant amplitude of resultant wave is subtracted value A1 minus A2. Here amplitude get increased in a constructive interference, amplitude get decreased in destructive interference. A constructive interference is possible for same phase of principle of superposition. If they are meet at any point in opposite phase, then it leads to destructive interference. So let us move on to the principle of superposition, in which we are going to write an expression for stationary wave. Here students, here stationary wave, expression for stationary wave. Stationary wave, this is the important. Progressive wave in principle of superposition. Now we are going to discuss one very important topic, students, that is under the title of this principle of superposition. Now we discuss about the stationary formation of stationary wave. So let us consider a wave. Let consider this diagram. Let us have a string fixed between 2 points. Let this be a string fixed between 2 rigid points. Students, let us first of all consider a string fixed between 2 rigid points. By vibrating the string perpendicular to length, we generate a transverse wave. This transverse wave propagates along this direction. Let this be the transverse wave. Perpendicular vibrations. Vibration of the particle is perpendicular to the direction of propagation. Propagation is along x-axis and vibration is in perpendicular y direction. So this is positively x-axis directed wave. This wave is traveling along positive x-axis. See once again, students, let us observe the waveform which is traveling in positive x direction. Transverse wave traveling along positive x direction. Okay. But this medium of propagation ends abruptly because we consider a finite y of finite length and fixed between rigid support. Hence the y comes to end at this point. So the y, now the wave is unable to propagate forward. No more a propagation possible now. Now wave get reflected. As this is the resident, the wave get reflected and move back along negative x-axis, as well as this is the rigid point, it undergoes a pi degrees phase difference, pi radians phase difference. So let the wave starts at point A and reaches point B, which is the end point of the string. At that point the wave gets reflected back in negative x-axis and it starts propagating along negative x-axis. And one more important point, as this is the resident reflection takes at pi degrees phase difference, so that this is the reflected wave. Wave move in backward direction. Reflected wave that moves in backward direction. See the students, this is the wave reflected from point B and moves in negative x direction to reach point A. Now in the median between A and B, along the y between points A and B, these two waves continuously undergoing superposition. They are meeting different points of the medium. Therefore, here a progressive wave, let us consider a progressive wave with uniform velocity v, angular frequency omega, wavelength lambda. So velocity of the wave is v and angular frequency, it depends upon the source. The source is producing a wave of angular frequency omega, and wavelength as v and omega, medium is same, source is same, let it be a constant wavelength lambda, and propagation constant or angular wave number k, that is traveling in positive x-axis. Let the displacement of that wave is given by y1 is the displacement of the progressive wave traveling in positive x direction is a sin kx minus omega t. Students, this is y1. Equation of progressive wave traveling along positive x direction. We know it very well. Already in previous videos we discussed the progressive wave equation along positive x direction. This is the progressive wave equation. traveling along positive x direction, and its displacement is given by y is equal to a sin kx minus omega t. This is from A to B. As we discussed already, as the y ran at point B, it reflected back with a phase difference of phi and direction reversed to negative x direction. By substituting x negative and phase difference pi, replace x by minus x and substitute the phase difference, add phase difference pi for the reflected wave with respect to the positive x directed wave. So by using x by minus x as well as add phase difference pi, we get the reflected wave equation is a sin kx plus omega t. This is the reflected wave which is traveling in negative x direction. Along the wave that traveling in negative x direction is y is equal to a sin kx plus omega t, and this is the wave traveling in positive x direction. I highlighted these two equations on the screen. Look into them. Positive x directed wave is a sin kx minus omega t, and negative x directed wave is a sin kx plus omega t, and they are traveling in opposite direction. But the qualities, the two waves must have the same speed, same angular frequency, and same amplitude and same wave number. All are same. Amplitude is same, angular frequency is same, speed is same, propagation constant is same, but only thing is they are traveling in opposite directions along the same y. Along the same y, the two waves are traveling in opposite direction under this situation, and they superimpose each other. When they superimpose each other, according to principle of superposition, the resultant displacement of the matter, vibrating particle of the matter, resultant displacement of vibrating particle of the matter is vector sum of these two. So y of xt, here y of xt is resultant displacement of vibrating particle, that is a sin kx plus omega t plus a sin kx minus omega t, a get common. In the addition of these two, a get common in the addition of these two equations. So sin of kx plus omega t plus sin of kx minus omega t. Once again, it is sin of c plus d by 2. If this is sin c and this is sin d, sin of c plus d by 2 into cos c minus d by 2. In that expression, sin of c plus d by 2 means we get, this is the expression, sin c plus sin d is 2 sin c plus d by 2 into cos c minus d by 2, so that it becomes 2a sin kx plus omega t plus kx minus omega t plus omega t cancel. Kx plus kx is 2x, 2kx by 2 means it is kx. So 2a sin kx cos omega t is the resultant displacement. So resultant displacement of a particle of the medium is this one. Once again, just recall the three important equations of this derivation. The progressive wave traveling in the y in positive x direction, progressive wave traveling in the y in positive x direction is a sin kx minus omega t. The reflected wave traveling in negative x direction by having a 180 degrees phase with respect to positive directed wave is a sin kx plus omega t. According to principle of superposition, the resultant displacement is y is equal to y1 plus y2, which is becomes by using trigonometric arrangement 2a sin kx cos omega t. Okay, when you observe this pattern form of the resultant displacement 2a sin kx cos omega t, here 2a sin kx is amplitude of the resultant wave, let it be a dash, amplitude of resultant wave. When you go through and analyze this equation, this is the important analysis here. When you go through this equation and observe how the value is changing, the resultant amplitude is function of x. The amplitude of resultant wave is function of x. So that at a particular values of x it is 0, at particular values of x it is maximum, so that the amplitude value is constant at constant values of x. The amplitude value is a fixed value at fixed values of x. So amplitude in function of x means amplitude always gains or amplitude get a constant values at constant value of x, so that a stationary wave pattern is developed by the principle of the superposition, by the interference of these two progressive waves traveling in positive x direction, negative x direction. A stationary amplitude values are arranged in the interference pattern, hence it is named as the stationary wave, because it forms a stationary amplitude patterns after interference of the two traveling waves in opposite direction. It forms a stationary wave pattern, hence it is named as the stationary wave. The resultant wave named as the stationary wave because of this reason. So here the equation, that's what we get from the previous derivation, is resultant displacement is y is equal to 2a sin kx cos omega t. This 2a sin kx is considered to be amplitude of the stationary wave, a dash cos omega t. Here the amplitude of resultant wave is 2a sin kx. This is the important, 2a sin kx, amplitude of stationary wave pattern. Here we are discussing in the principle of superposition, we are in the discussion of stationary waves in stretched strings. So that the stationary wave pattern formed, displacement of stationary wave is given by 2a sin kx cos omega t. Amplitude of stationary wave is 2a sin kx. So amplitude is in function of x. At constant values of x, there is always fixed amplitude. So let us move on to what are the maximum amplitude points and what are the minimum amplitude points, what are the names given for them. The effective of two equal waves in equal amplitude waves traveling in opposite direction is that amplitude at each value of x is fixed in time. So this is important. The amplitude of each value of x is fixed. So amplitude of vibrating particles in the wave is 0. So amplitude of the vibrating particle, resultant amplitude of vibrating particle is 0. That is a dash becomes 0 for the values of kx is equal to n pi. When kx is equal to n pi, for all values of n pi, sin n pi is 0. N changes from 0, 1, 2, 3. So for every integer of n, extend from 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. For every integer of n, sin n pi is 0. So for particular values of x for which kx is equal to n pi, the amplitude of stationary wave is 0. This is the important point, students. For particular values of x for which kx is n pi, the sin of n pi is equal to 0, so amplitude is 0. Where n is an integer, so amplitude is 0 for kx is equal to n pi, as well as amplitude is maximum for sine function, sine values of pi by 2, 3 pi by 2, 5 pi by 2. So odd number multiples of pi by 2, odd number multiples of pi by 2. So n plus half into pi, that is also equal to 2n plus 1 into pi by 2. N plus 1 into pi, n plus half into pi means taking LCM we get 2n plus 1 into pi by 2, which is odd number multiples of pi by 2 for each integer value of n. N is 0, pi by 2, n is 1, 3 pi by 2, n is 2, 5 pi by 2. So odd number multiples of pi by 2, if kx is odd number multiples of pi by 2, or n plus half into pi or 2n plus 1 into pi by 2, for each value of that the sign is maximum. We know that sin pi by 2 is maximum, sin 3 pi by 2 is maximum in magnitude. So we get maximum value. For kx is n pi, we get 0 amplitude. For kx is equal to odd numbers of pi by 2, we get maximum amplitude. So let us write the values. So since all the elements in the medium oscillate with same phase, move all synchronously and have fixed positions in space, they are called stationary waves. Because at particular values of x, amplitude is fixed. For each value of x, it always possesses the same amplitude. Hence they are named as the stationary waves. Here we are observing the stationary wave pattern in this animation also. Here clearly, when you look into it very clearly, blue colored wave as explained earlier, traveling downwards, and reflected that, and red color wave is traveling in upward direction. So for certain values of x, here when you look into this one, we are getting maximum amplitude here. Here, look into it. At this position, always there is maximum amplitude. At this position, we are getting maximum amplitude at these positions. So we get maximum amplitude. See, these are the integral multiples of pi by 2, odd number multiples of pi by 2. That's why we are getting maximum amplitudes. See, at this position we are getting 0, always. We are getting 0. Once again at this we are getting maximum. So, at this we are getting 0. Once again at this point we are getting maximum. At this we are getting 0. And at this we are always getting maximum, and so on. There are fixed points in the interference points at which at some values of x we get maximum amplitude, for which kx is odd number multiples of pi by 2 according to explained phenomena. At particular points always we are getting 0 amplitude, for which the kx value, the value of x for which kx is entered gives 0 amplitude. They are nodes. So let us move on. So nodes means the positions of the stationary wave, the points of the stationary wave formed due to interference of two oppositely traveling waves, two oppositely directed traveling waves of same amplitude, same wavelength, same velocity interference each other of the string, and forms a stationary wave pattern known as stationary wave, in which there are some positions gives 0 displacement, 0 amplitude. The positions of the stationary wave pattern at which it gives 0 amplitude is named as the nodes. For nodes already we know that the amplitude is 0, resultant amplitude is 0 for them. Amplitude is 0, A dash is equal to 0. It is possible when kx is equal to n pi, where n extends from 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. So we know that k is 2 pi by lambda. So 2 pi by lambda, we know that k is 2 pi by lambda. 2 pi by lambda into x is equal to n pi. Therefore x is equal to odd number multiples. X is equal to integral multiples of lambda by 2. Especially for this type of traveling waves interfere and forms a stationary wave pattern. For position of x is equal to n lambda by 2, we are getting nodes, means the positions of 0 amplitude. For n0, for n1, for n2, for n3 we are getting nodes. Nodes means 0 amplitude points. And as well as antinodes, the positions of the stationary wave pattern. Antinodes are the positions of the stationary wave pattern which gives maximum amplitude, that is 2a. That is possible when the kx is odd number multiples of pi by 2. 2n plus 1 into pi by 2 or n plus half into pi by 2. The kx value must be n plus half into pi or 2n plus 1 into pi by 2. So that k is 2 pi by lambda, replace k by 2 pi by lambda, then we get x is equal to n plus half into lambda by 2. So x is also equal to 2n plus 1 into lambda by 4. Substitute n0, so first position is lambda by 4, n1 second position is 3 lambda by 4, n2 5 lambda by 4. So successively at positions of lambda by 4, 3 lambda by 4 and 5 lambda by 4 we are getting antinodes. So let us, so I represents this positions of nodes and antinodes in this animation also. In animation you observe it. One more image. So I draw one more image in stationary waves. So this is the wave traveling in positive x direction, and this is the wave in negative x direction. They superimpose each other and forms a stationary wave pattern, and at this point the amplitude is 0, hence it is node. Nodes are formed according to explained concept in previous slide. Nodes are formed at integral multiples of lambda by 2. Simple expression simple conclusion, remember students, nodes are formed for values of x for which x is equal to n times lambda by 2, whereas n is changing from 0, 1, 2, 3, all integers. Replace n by all integers. For all integers of n, we observe the nodes of stationary wave pattern. n0 means this is the position. n1 means this is the position. This is also node. n1. So this difference is lambda by 2. n2, 2 lambda by 2. This is also node. n3, this is also node. n4, this is also node. n5, this is also node, and so on. So for every value of x, which is equal to n into lambda by 2, for every integer of n, x becomes node. So node is formed at 0. This is the position of 0. This is the position of lambda by 2. This is the position of 2 times lambda by 2. This is the position of 3 times lambda by 2. This is 4 times lambda by 2. And this is 5 times lambda by 2 from the initial point. And antinodes are formed. For antinodes, for nodes A dash is equal to 0. And antinodes for amplitude is 2A, where A is the amplitude of each progressive wave. Then stationary wave has maximum amplitude 2A, that positions are antinode. This is possible for every value of x of odd number multiples of lambda by 4, 2n plus 1 into lambda by 4, for odd number multiples of lambda by 4. So n starts from 0, n is equal to 0, lambda by 4, this is lambda by 4, this is the position of x lambda by 4 at which we are observing antinode, and this position is lambda by 4, okay. And this is also another antinode for which amplitude is 2A, and it is at a position of n is equal to 1, x is equal to 2 plus 1, 3 lambda by 4. This is also antinode for which the position is 3 lambda by 4, and so on. This is another antinode at a position of 5 lambda by 4. This is 7 lambda by 4. This is 9 lambda by 4. For all odd number multiples of lambda by 4, we are getting antinodes at which the amplitude is maximum, that is equal to 2A. So this is the expression of stationary wave pattern with 0 amplitude at nodes and maximum amplitudes at antinodes. Here some important conclusion from this. The distance between successive nodes is equal to, this is the node, this is node, that is exactly lambda by 2. Similarly, distance between successive antinodes is also equal to lambda by 2. Distance between successive nodes, this is the very important and simple equation. Distance between two successive nodes, these 2 points or these 2 points or these 2 points or these 2 points, between any two successive nodes, they are separated by distance of lambda by 2. As well as any two successive antinodes, this pair of antinodes, this is another pair of successive antinodes, this is another pair of successive antinodes, this is another pair of successive antinodes. Distance between any two successive antinodes is also equal to lambda by 2. Whereas distance between node and antinode, successive node and antinode, this is the node and this is antinode, they are separated by lambda 4. So distance between successive node and antinode is lambda by 4. Remember them and keep it in mind. These are the very important expression. Now comes to, in the formation of stationary waves, the stationary wave pattern they found with any number of loops starting from minimum of 1 loop. Depending upon the vibration given to the string and length given for the vibration of the string, the stationary wave pattern may form with any number of loops. Starts from 1 loop. It may form 1 loop, it may form 2 loops, it may form 3 loops, and so on. Any number of loops are formed. If number of loops are increasing, frequency, wavelength decreases and frequency increases. If number of loops formed in stationary wave pattern goes on increasing, wavelength goes on decreasing and frequency is also increasing. So depending upon that one, we are observing harmonics and overtones. The possible values of frequencies of the tones formed by stationary waves, possible values of frequencies possible, one loop has one frequency, two loops has another frequency, three loops has another frequency, and so on. So same string may be vibrated with any number of loops starting from minimum of one loop. So as loop number increases, frequency also increases. So there are so many possible cases which are integral multiple of fundamental value. So all these frequencies are said to be harmonics. So frequencies of possible notes formed by the string in various vibrations is the harmonics. The frequencies other than fundamental frequency, every frequency higher than fundamental frequency or other than fundamental frequency are known as the overtones. So any overtone is any frequency greater than fundamental frequency. Overtone is a frequency greater than fundamental frequency is overtone. Here the all possible frequencies are said to be harmonics. So let us move on to the derivation of harmonics and overtones in a strings. So students, this is the derivation in which I would like to derive expression for harmonics, frequencies of harmonics and overtones. Frequencies of harmonics and overtones in stationary waves of a stretched string. Transverse stationary wave of stretched string. So we would like to derive this expression here. Harmonics and overtones means all possible frequencies are harmonics. Frequencies other than the fundamental frequencies overtones. So those frequencies to be find out in the expression form for a stationary wave of a stretched string. Okay. Let us consider first case which has least possible frequency or first harmonic, also known as the fundamental mode. So in fundamental mode, stationary wave pattern is formed with a minimum of one loop. So this is the string in which stationary wave pattern is formed with minimum of one loop. Let length of the string be L. We consider a string of same length L. Length of the string be L now. Okay. In fundamental mode, first harmonic, I would like to find the first harmonic, also known as fundamental frequency, fundamental mode. So first harmonic or fundamental mode of vibration in which the stationary wave pattern in a string is formed with just one loop. So when it forms one loop means always node is formed at rigid point. This is the position of node and this is also position of node. So at each end node is formed. At each end node is formed for stationary wave pattern with one loop. So when node is formed with one loop means the distance between successive nodes is lambda by 2. Let the wavelength be lambda, lambda 1 by 2. Node is formed at each end in one loop. Then distance between successive node is lambda by 2. Let lambda 1 be the wavelength of first fundamental frequency or first harmonic. Then we write lambda 1 by 2 is equal to L. This implies lambda 1 is equal to 2L. This implies the frequency of fundamental mode is N1. We know that N1 is equal to V by lambda 1. Frequency of any sound wave is V by lambda 1. So N1 is equal to V by 2L. We know that the velocity of transverse waves in stretched string. In previous video we derived the expression for velocity of transverse wave in stretched string, that is square root of T by mu. So 1 by 2L into square root of T by mu. Hence we comes to end of the first expression. Frequency of first harmonic or fundamental mode. Frequency of first harmonic or fundamental mode is derived here, which is N1, that is V by 2L, also equal to 1 by 2n into square root of t by mu, where t is tension and mu is linear density. Once again, recollect this equation. Let us consider string is vibrated in first harmonic, also in fundamental mode, then it makes only one loop between the two ends. Length of let L be the length of the string. When it completes just one loop, the distance between two successive nodes are formed at each end. Distance between two successive nodes is lambda by 2. In fundamental mode, lambda 1 is the wavelength, lambda 1 by 2. So lambda 1 by 2 is equal to L. So that lambda 1 is equal to 2L and cross multiplication. The frequency of fundamental mode is V by lambda 1. V is the velocity of wave. V by lambda 1. Lambda 1 is equal to 2L. V by 2L. Velocity of transverse wave in stated string is square root of t by mu. So 1 by 2L into square root of t by mu. So let us consider the second harmonic. Next we would like to write the expression for second harmonic. Second harmonic. We will write the expression for second harmonic. Second harmonic means this is the next one other than the fundamental mode. This is the first one which is other than the fundamental mode. First comes other than the fundamental mode, hence it is also known as the first overtone. First overtone. Therefore, second harmonic in first overtone, one loop increases compared to first one. So it forms two loops. In second harmonic, it forms two loops. Simple thing. Second harmonic, it forms two loops. So this is the node. At this intersection, we have one node, and at the end there is another node. Two loops means these are the nodes in the diagram. So distance between any two successive nodes is lambda by 2. So this is lambda 2 by 2. Let lambda 2 be the wavelength now. Wavelength get modified in the second harmonic, it becomes lambda 2. This is also equal to lambda 2 by 2. In second harmonic, string forms two loops in stationary wave pattern. Then these are the positions of nodes. Distance between any two successive nodes is lambda by 2. So between these two successive nodes, wavelength is lambda 2. So this distance is lambda 2 by 2. Between these two successive nodes, it is also equal to lambda 2 by 2. Actually, this is the length of the string from first end to the last end, length of the string L. Now L becomes lambda 2 by 2 plus lambda 2 by 2, that is 2 lambda 2 by 2. Now 2 into lambda 2 by 2 is equal to L. This implies lambda 2 is equal to 2L by 2. Don't cancel 2. To compare the final expression with the first harmonic, keep it in form of 2 by 2. So lambda 2 is equal to 2L by 2. This implies the second harmonic frequency, let it be denoted by N2, second harmonic frequency, which is velocity is constant by lambda 2. Lambda 2 is 2L by 2. So it becomes 2V by 2L, 2V by 2L, which is also equal to 2 by 2L into square root of t by mu. So N2 is twice the N1 value. In comparison, we come to conclude that N2 is twice N1 and N2 is 2V by 2L, that is also equal to 2 by 2L of square root of t by mu. Of course, we conclude that this is the important conclusion, N2 is 2N1. Second harmonic is just twice the first harmonic, also known as the first overtone. Next comes to third one, in which loop increases by 1 compared to the second one. So in third harmonic, we would like to find the frequency of third harmonic. Now, the third harmonic also known as the second overtone, third harmonic or second overtone. In third harmonic or second overtone, three loops are formed. First harmonic 1 loop, second harmonic 2 loops, third harmonic 3 loops. That's it. The same length of the string now makes 3 loops, and these are successive nodes at which displacement is 0, amplitude is 0 are positions of nodes. Then between these two nodes, let lambda 3 be the wavelength, lambda 3 by 2. Between these two nodes, lambda 3 is the wavelength, lambda 3 by 2. Between any two successive nodes, wavelength in the form of lambda by 2, the distance in the form of lambda by 2. Now this is also equal to lambda 3 by 2. This is also distance between successive nodes, it is also equal to lambda 3 by 2. So there are three values, three loops, each loop is of length lambda 3 by 2. There are three loops, so total length is 3 lambda 3 by 2. 3 lambda 3 divided by 2 is equal to L now. This implies lambda 3 is equal to 2L by 3. This implies M3 is equal to V by lambda 3, M3, V by lambda 3. So that is equal to 3V by 2L. That is equal to 3 by 2L into square root of T by mu. This is the frequency of third harmonic or second overtone. Once again we conclude that the third harmonic frequency is 3 times fundamental frequency, 3 times N1. Third harmonic is 3 times N1. So N1 is the fundamental frequency, N2 is the second harmonic frequency, 2 by 2L square root of T by mu. N3 is the third harmonic frequency of second overtone, 3 by 12 square root of T by mu. N3 is 3N1, N3 becomes 3N1. Now ratio of fundamental frequencies, N1 is to N2 is to N3. Ratio of harmonics of stationary wave pattern in stretched string, N1 is to N2 is to N3. Is N1 is to 2N1 is to 3N1. N1 is to 2N1 is to 3N1. N1 get cancelled in the ratio 1 is to 2 is to 3. They are in the ratio of integers. 1 is to 2 is to 3. All integral multiples of fundamental frequencies are possible here. Suppose the frequency of any xth harmonic is simply frequency of any xth harmonic is nx is equal to x by 2L into square root of T by mu. First harmonic is 1 by 2L into square root of T by mu. Second harmonic is 2 by 2L square root of T by mu. Third harmonic is 3 by 12 square root of T by mu. And so on xth harmonic is nx is equal to x by 12 square root of T by mu. Similarly, suppose I would like to find yth overtone. Yth overtone is y plus 1th harmonic, because first overtone is second harmonic, and as well as second overtone is third harmonic. Observe it. Harmonic number is one number more than the overtone. Harmonic number one number more than the overtone. Suppose I would like to find yth overtone. It becomes y plus 1th harmonic. If overtone number is y, its corresponding harmonic number is y plus 1. So yth overtone, y is the number. We would like to know the yth overtone frequency of the stretched string. It becomes y plus 1. So it is equivalent to n y plus 1. So y plus 1 by 2L into square root of T by mu. So these two are the very important. These three conclusions which I gave is very important for further discussion of objective problems. So this is the stationary wave pattern of a stretched string and harmonics and overtones found in the stretched string. This is the very important question for board exams as well as good application. Very good number of applications are there in JEE main examination. So let us move on to the last. The fundamental frequency of stretched string is, let it be f or n, fundamental frequency of stretched string. We write by n1 or let it be f, which is equal to 1 by 2L square root of T by mu, fundamental frequency. 1 by 12 square root of T by mu. So the relation between frequency and length is law of length. Let us consider law of strings, in which the relation between frequency and length and frequency and tension, frequency and linear density are given. Then the law of length gives the relation between frequency and length. So fundamental frequency is inversely proportional to length. That's what I write here. Fundamental frequency is inversely proportional to length when tension and mu are constant, at which T and mu are constants. If tension in the string and linear density of the strings are kept constant, then fundamental frequency is inversely proportional to length. Okay, from this we write F1 L1 is also equal to F2 L2, extended equation for numericals. Comes to second law, that gives the relation between frequency and tension. Clearly we are observing frequency, fundamental frequency is directly proportional to square root of tension, provided length and mu linear density are constant. If L and mu are constants, length and linear density are kept constants, then fundamental frequency is proportional to square root of tension. Fundamental frequency is proportional to square root of tension, at which length and linear density are constants. From this we write F1 by F2 is equal to square root of T1 divided by T2. Comes to third law, that gives the relation between fundamental frequency and linear density. Here fundamental frequency is inversely proportional to square root of linear density when tension and length are kept constant. If tension and other two quantities, length are constants, kept constant of the given y, then fundamental frequency is inversely proportional to square root of linear density. Here from that we write F1 by F2, inversely proportional to square root of linear density. So F1 by F2 is equal to square root of mu2 divided by mu1. So in this way we extend the laws to a formula so that we may find any answer for the numerical questions. This is regarding laws of strings. So next one is sonometer. Here sonometer is one experiment used to find the frequency of unknown source, a tuning fork. Here in these two images we are observing the sonometers. This is a typical model of the sonometer. Sonometer having, this is one schematic diagram. This image is schematic diagram. This is the typical model of sonometer. The sonometer has a hollow wooden board. Let us observe. This is the hollow wooden box. And there are two moving bridges. These are the two made up of metal and have a sharp projection. These are the moving bridges. A wire is let us take a wire in which we observe the transverse vibration. One end of the wire is fixed to the rigid support, another end is passed over a pulley connected to the weight hanger. Here we have a weight hanger connected to a weight hanger. Okay. And the tension in the string belongs to weight, equal to weight, mg. If m is the weight suspended here, the tension in the string is equal to, suppose this load is capital M. Here we observe this load by the capital M value, let it be capital M, then the weight becomes capital Mg, then tension becomes capital Mg. So this is the schematic diagram in which one end of the string is connected to a rigid support, second end is passed over a pulley and connected to the load. And the string is connected or in contact with the two moving bridges. The distance between the two moving bridges is the length. So this is the length of the vibrating column. So length of vibrating column is not the length of total wire from fixed point rigid support to the weight hanger. It is vibrating between these two segments. So that is length. L is the length of the vibrating column. Here L is the length. Okay. A tuning fork is vibrated. This is the tuning fork. It is vibrated and kept here. We kept a tuning fork, vibrated tuning fork, hit with a hammer and kept on it one, and we put a small paper weight over here. Initially when the tuning fork of some unknown frequency is excited and kept on the board, wooden board, here wooden board, actually it is kept here on the wooden board, vibrated and kept on the wooden board, and the frequency of the tuning fork is n, let it be unknown value, frequency is n and it is unknown value. We would like to find this frequency with the help of the sonometer experiment. Initially the frequency of tuning fork mismatch with frequency of the wire. The wire is a transverse vibrations, it has some fundamental frequency, the fundamental frequency of vibrating wire may not match with the frequency of tuning fork, they are mismatched. But when you move the bridges, let us keep one bridge stationary and move the second bridge towards and away, definitely we find such a length, at which the frequency of the string is equal to frequency of tuning fork. Definitely we get a position of length at which the frequencies match each other. That is known as resonance. If the applied forced vibrating frequency of tuning fork is equal to natural frequency of vibrating string, it is said to be resonance. Under resonance, wire starts vibrating with maximum amplitude. At that resonance, wire starts vibrating with maximum amplitude. For this vibration, the taper rider may fall down. When taper rider may fall down, now we assume it is in resonance, then frequency of string is equal to frequency of tuning fork. Frequency of string means 1 by 2L in fundamental mode is equal to square root of T by mu. The frequency of string in fundamental mode 1 by 2L square root of T by mu is equal to frequency of tuning fork, that is equal to N. From this, if L, T, mu are known, we find N. Unknown frequency of the tuning fork is determined by using this sonometer experiment. Students, I hope you followed all these things very well. So students, in today's session, we mainly concentrated on only one part of sound chapter, that is principle of superposition. With that part, principle of superposition, we apply that one for the formation of stationary waves in stretched string. When two equal amplitude, wavelength, velocity waves are traveling in opposite directions, superimpose each other and forms a stationary wave pattern, which is known as stationary wave. And we derive the expression for frequency of harmonics and overtones of a stationary wave, and we stated laws of strings and we apply the fundamental frequency concept for sonometer to find out unknown frequency. Thank you very much. Thank you one and all.